Okay guys, we're back here working on the Bronco 2. The audio got messed up at the beginning of this video. We are doing spark plugs, spark plug wires, and a new ignition coil. I've already got the ignition coil and the spark plugs, but they didn't have any wires, so I'm stopped in here, got the heater going, and I'm going to head over to the parts store and get the plug wires before we get going. Let the shop get warmed up a little bit, and hopefully it'll improve our running conditions. I'm going to start it up before we get anything done so we can see how it runs before and then as we put the parts on, and that's our plan. Okay, I think we had a little bit of microphone issues before, but right now idling, as soon as the RPMs dip down to warm up, it just wants to die. So let's start by swapping out this coil. It's going to be basically pulling these two wires off, this off, then unscrewing and screwing it back in. Shouldn't be too bad, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so they're just 3 wires and 4 little screws. Just getting tightened back down and plug the wires in. I think I'll go ahead and change the ignition coil wire, and then I'll do spark plugs. Okay, we got new coil and the new coil wire to the distributor on. Let's see if anything changes. Okay, now it dips back down. And it did run a little bit earlier. That actually seems a little better, but it kind of is hit and miss. Oh, see, now it's going to go down and die. Oh, it caught itself. So, I would say it's a little bit better, because before I would fully die right there. So, let's go with spark plugs. Guess I better shut it off before it gets too hot for me. Okay, we got the driver's side done. This one's probably the worst looking one. I'm just going to focus on it, probably not. So a little bit of deposit on there, not too bad. All the threads have oil on it, but I think it's because the valve covers are leaking down the outside of the engine. Because it's not wet on the inside part, it's just the threads have a little oil on it. Which would explain the smoking coming from in here. So that's another thing we're going to have to be doing. Now we'll do the passenger side. Fire it up, see how it does, and then we'll swap the wires out. Part of my problem is this light is almost too bright to be a work light, because it's blinding and it can't get into tight spots very well. Okay, we got all the passenger side plugs done. So none of the plugs looked horribly dirty. Probably should have cleaned out the holes a little bit before I took them out and replaced them, but I'd already bought one and replaced it just to kind of see. So it doesn't look too bad, but we've only had it in for a couple weeks. So let's fire it up and see. I feel like the front cylinder on this passenger side, so when I was having a hard time running, I could pull that wire off and it wouldn't run any rougher. So maybe it was the plug, maybe it's the cable, maybe the fuel injector's not getting fuel. Who knows what it's doing? But let's move this light so it don't fall on us. And then let's fire it up and see what it does now. Okay, it's going to dip back down. Maybe. Maybe it's going to actually stay revved up now in its warm-up mode. There, it's dipping. Oh. Yeah, see, whatever that is, it shouldn't be dipping that low. Oh, and then that one finally. Does seem to rev a little smoother. I like the RPMs coming out. It's just the idle is pretty rough still. And then going from here, it's got a pretty good hesitation. But now we'll start doing plug wires, seeing where I can match up, and I bet it's not going to change a lot, but maybe with these valve covers leaking oil, maybe they're oil-soaked boots on them and stuff, so maybe it'll change it. Okay, here's the wires it came with. We got a 90 boot on that side, and like a 45-ish boot on 4 of them. Then 2 of them are straights, and then one is 90 and 90. So we have 7 wires for a 6-cylinder, because I've already done the coil one. So it came with 8 wires, so I guess we'll just kind of see what fits where and see if we can get them all hooked up. They didn't come with loom, so we'll have to reuse the old ones, but I think that'll work. Okay, new plug wires are all on. I think I got them routed pretty well. So let's fire it up and see how she runs. Not expecting much improvement this time, but maybe a little. At least a good thing now I don't have to get in there to play with anything, so if it gets a little warm, it'll be okay. Okay, now it's going to dip down. Maintaining at about 1100, 1000 RPM. I think it's still got a little bit of a vacuum leak. When the RPMs dip down, it lopes enough to where it fully dies. Because when it's up running decent, it's not horrible. We'll let her sit here and idle and warm up maybe a little bit now that I'm done working on it. Okay, my buddy stopped by for a minute, so she's cooled off a little bit. We're going to take it out for a little test drive to see how she runs on the road. Okay, of course, as soon as I pull out of the shop, the GoPro dies, so we'll have to film on my phone. Actually, shit's pretty smooth now. We're getting somewhere. Gotta remember where to look on this bad boy. Seems to be a little better high end. Here's one pretty good. On shift. Pretty well. We're a lot better than we used to. Remember a few videos ago, I couldn't even go down this road. Still not idling perfect, so I think maybe just with that vacuum leak is causing the idle problems. It's actually, the transmission's actually kicking down when you put your foot down. got that sweet whistle, probably from that window being open. But I'm liking where it's at now. A little better. Have a little bit better idea what we're doing. Still maybe take the fuel system, maybe pull the top end apart, get the fuel injectors, check them out, or at least pull them out and clean them if I dare. And maybe definitely need the valve covers because it stinks like burning oil pretty bad, and they are leaking. You can see them leaking. So it's a good upgrade. Getting the coil and spark plugs and wires updated seems to help a little bit. Okay, I'm hoping we're one step closer in the right direction on this Bronco. So hope you enjoyed. Hopefully we can see this thing be an actual daily driver. Thanks for watching.